So the title of this message is Some Like You Better When You're Suffering. You may notice that as you begin to get better, as you begin to heal, as you begin to not do some of the unhealthy things that you used to do, as you begin to prosper, you will have people that no longer come around. Maybe they no longer have conversation for you. And these could be people that you felt really close to, felt connected to. However, we know that people come into our lives for reasons, seasons, or lifetimes. And sometimes folks serve a purpose in our lives, and sometimes that purpose is over. And we try to hold on to it, not recognizing the fact that it's over. Sometimes it is your suffering that bonds you and binds you with folks. And when I say that, this is not coming from a like a blameful place or a demeaning place, but just the understanding that sometimes your wellness scares people, because when you are not well, you can connect with the parts of them that are not well. Oftentimes we get so caught up in those stories of not being well. Sometimes we get so caught up in the suffering that we don't even think, we collectively, when I say we, you and the other person, me and the other person, we're not even thinking about the next, what it's going to look like when we're no longer there, because the idea, I would hope or think, is to not always be in that space of suffering, right? However, we don't often think about that when we're in that space of suffering. And typically, somebody moves out of that space before the other one. There's been times when I've bonded with folks due to my suffering, and we both grown. At the same time, one of us did it before the other one. One of us made the step to say, hey girl, hey man, hey babe, hey whoever, come on, we can't stay there. But just because we say, come on, we can't stay there, doesn't mean that that person is ready to move forward with you. Sometimes your suffering creates comfort with other people, and your wellness can create fear. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes people like you better when you're suffering, because your wellness can scare folks. When people are unable to see themselves well, it's scary when the person that's been with them for so long is getting well. This isn't a long message. This is just reality. This is something that I wanted to share, that sometimes it is your suffering that creates comfort with others, and sometimes people like you better in your state of suffering. But it doesn't mean that you're supposed to stay there. It also doesn't mean that you forget them. It doesn't mean that you forget where you come from. It just means that you don't stay. So we can invite folk to come with us, but we have to remember that it is okay to be disliked. And it is for certain okay to be disliked, if that means that you get to be well. Because that's what this is all about, right? Learning the tools and the ways so that we don't continue repeating the patterns. Learning the tools and ways so that we don't continue to suffer.